everyone, it's Tracy here from Move Daily Fitness, and today we are cooking in the kitchen, and I got for you a great recipe. It should only take 30 minutes. I have to work at 5:15, so it better only take 30 minutes, and it is called a Greek chicken quinoa salad. So healthy and high protein, some good healthy complex carbohydrates, good vegetables, and I am excited to make it. I hope some of you went and got the ingredients this morning and you are joining me in this cooking venture. Anyone out there going to be cooking with me? Hey? All right, well, I hope so. We are going to get started right away here. So, the recipe is listed actually right on my post. I have the recipe posted there, so if you can't make it right now, if you can't join me, make sure that you save this video and you can cook it later. So we're going to start with our quinoa. Just in a pot over high heat, I'm going to add 1 cup of quinoa, and I've got this awesome tri-colored quinoa right there. I don't know if you've ever used the tri-color. It's nice. I don't know that it tastes different, but it's fun to look at, so that's an option there. So 1 cup into that. And I'm going to add to that 2 cups of chicken stock. So in that goes. And quinoa is nice because it's quick, right? So if you want something that's fast and tasty for the family, quinoa is so fast. Again, a good healthy complex carbohydrate with some good protein in it as well. So I'm just going to let that come to a boil, and then I'll reduce it and cook it for 15 minutes. Quinoa is great again. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so 1 cup of quinoa, 2 cups of chicken stock, 1-to-2 ratio. That's it. All right, let's get going here. So I'm going to take my chicken, and I've just got some thawed chicken here. I'm going to cut on my plastic cutting board, and we're going to just chop that up, and we'll season it up nicely and put it in our cast iron fry pan. So I've been cooking with cast iron a lot lately. If you are anemic, low iron, or iron deficiency, it's a great way to leach iron from the pan is to cook your food in there. And especially if you have things like acid that you're adding to it. So I'll add a little bit of lemon juice to it as well, just to help integrate some of that iron. But things like tomato sauces, soups are all just fantastic in a cast iron skillet. Okay, keeping an eye on my quinoa and chopping up this chicken. So again, this is a great weekday meal that you can just throw together. And if your kids are fussy, I have a fussy child in my house, he's not going to like the tomatoes that are going on top of this salad. So you can easily just cook everything up and then leave those parts off for the fussy child. But you've got your base, you've got your chicken, you've got your quinoa, and then the salad on top, and that just makes a great combination. And this is good too because it doesn't have like your lettuces and stuff in there. It lasts the next day and the next day in the fridge. So I would eat this for lunch the next day, and yeah, it keeps really nicely in the fridge. Okay, I'm going to chop up my last chicken. I'm going to turn on my skillet here, get that going, and then I'm going to hit it with a little olive oil. You could also use coconut oil just to put in the bottom of the pan. That's the thing with the cast iron, is that it sticks. So it's quite sticky until you add that acid, and then it just somehow all comes off the bottom. But I like it again because it just helps with iron absorption into the body. So that is why I'm using it. Okay, so there's my chicken. I'm just going to set this aside here. Wash my hands with a little soap. And sanitize as we go. Important. Okay, so my quinoa is starting to simmer, looking good. In my pan here now, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, just to make sure that chicken doesn't stick. Okay. And now let's season up this chicken here. So on it, I'm going to put a little bit of, paprika. So you could use that smoked paprika. I use it in quite a few things. It does actually add really good flavor. This is not too flavorful, but it adds nice color. So I've got about half a teaspoon of paprika on there. Also going to hit it with a little bit of garlic powder here. So I'm just seasoning right on my cutting board here. And again, about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. So pan is getting hot. Quinoa is boiling, so we're going to turn that down to a simmer, put a lid on, and I'm cooking that just for 15 minutes. So we're like 5 minutes in, and things are going quite nicely already. So timer for 15, and then that should be done. I don't even have to look at it. All right, back to our chicken here. So I've got garlic powder, paprika. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. So got these. Well, I went to Costco to buy the salt and pepper because I like the grind ones, and they were out or gone or hiding. Maybe someone hid them, and so I bought these dumb things that are like, oh, it's so annoying. So now I have to do this and sprinkle it into my hand every time so I can see how much is coming out. Like, who does that? It's really annoying. Anyway, I'm gonna season probably with a half a teaspoon of salt, and then I'll just put some pepper on to taste. However much you like for your family. Okay, the pan should be, yeah, there it is. It's starting to smoke there, so I'm just going to add my chicken, and we're going to pan fry that up here. Okay, heat goes down a bit. All right, so I'm just going to let that set for a bit, get rid of that cutting board since it's full of chicken guts. And we're going to go and add a bit of fresh garlic. Okay, so 2 cloves I think will be good. Anything less, and you barely even taste it. So we'll just pop that there. Grab another knife. Give those a knock. So my son made me this cutting board in woodwork. Cool, huh? Make sure your child goes into woodwork in grade 12 and you can have a cutting board as well. Okay, so easy way to do your garlic. Just give it a smash and then a nice dice there. And if you're a professional chef and I'm holding this knife wrong, it's okay. I'm cutting it still, so it's good. I know my son says, no, you hold the knife like this. I don't know. He works at Summerhill, so he knows how to chop things properly. Okay, so we're just going to chop that up. I want to get this right into my pan with my chicken and flavor that all up there. All right, so 2 cloves of garlic going in my pan here. So I'm going to turn my heat back up. Cast iron's funny, you know, like if I'm just using a regular pan, like a Teflon pan, I keep the heat down a little bit. But with cast iron, as soon as you add like the cold chicken, the heat just drops drastically. So I'll just monitor it and make sure that it's hot enough to cook that chicken up. All right, we'll just give it a little stir. And again, this can be, you know, cooking healthy does take preparation. It doesn't necessarily have to take long, but you got to think ahead. So we had this Healthy Eating Revisited event in January, and one of the things we talked about was meal planning strategies and really making sure that you're thinking ahead of what your week is going to look like. I posted a question yesterday just asking everyone what was one of the most difficult things about, you know, sustaining your fitness and your health. And a couple people wrote that they're just around bad food, they make poor food choices, they have bad patterns of behavior when it comes to food. And I get that. It's hard to be consistent with our food, and we're not always consistent. But if you can make a plan and take a day of the week to think ahead about what your week is going to look like, you're going to be far more successful than if you just are trying at the, you know, drop of a hat to think of something healthy. You haven't taken food out, you don't have the right vegetables. You know, there's lots of reasons why it's easier just to grab something that's packaged and frozen. But I know you want to cook healthy for your family. You want to feed them good food. And this is a way to do it, is to create an arsenal of healthy recipes that are really easy, quick, and your go-to. So I have a little file on my computer, and every time I make a home run meal for the family, we add it to that arsenal and then repeat it. Throw it into rotation, a monthly rotation, and you're good to go. Then at least you're making things that the family enjoys and that you know they're going to eat. So right now I'm just chopping up some tomatoes. Again, one of my kids is not going to love this at all, but we won't add this part to his. So just in my bowl there, I'm making the salad part to go on top of our chicken and quinoa now. I'm going to just pause for a second and go stir my chicken. Good, smelling good. Quinoa looks good. It's coming along nicely. Not a problem there. And 10 minutes to go on that quinoa. All right, let's continue chopping those tomatoes here. And I like to do this part of the salad quite small, so little chunks, just to make it easier to, spoon into your mouth. It's a good way to do it. So yeah, meal planning strategies. You can set aside a Sunday. A lot of people do meal prep on a Sunday, right? So I showed our group a big sheet pan dinner that was so simple to make. And it's so great because it can be so versatile too, right? You can take a big sheet pan, line it with tin foil, take chicken breasts, season them however you like in the middle there. And then put around the chicken whatever vegetables and tubers that you like. So I know my family doesn't like sweet potatoes and yams, but I do. So I put the sweet potatoes and yams in one corner, then I did some white potatoes for some of them in the other corner, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, red onions, carrots, whatever sort of vegetables you like, and then cook it all on one pan. Super simple, easy cleanup. And the best part about that too is that if the kids like sauces and they want a little extra to make it taste good, well, you can serve it with some hummus for them, or you can serve some salsa or barbecue sauce on the side. But if you are trying to watch what you're eating and keep your your carbs intact and keep your carbs lower, then you could just have a dinner of chicken, veg, and whatever seasonings on it to make it taste good. Okay, looks like the chicken is doing nicely here. I'm going to turn that heat down a bit now. That cast iron skillet's come back up to a nice hot temperature, and it's searing the chicken actually really nicely. Good. That is close to done. I'm just going to give it a few more moments there. Okay, chopping up some cucumbers. I bought these cucumbers for the kids' lunches, and this bag is still totally full. So you could use one long English cucumber. I'm just going to use a few of these mini ones and chop them up really small as well here. Okay. So great lunch option. This salad can be again, sometimes the cucumber goes a little bit wet. If you keep cucumber the next day, if you ever had Greek salad the next day, sometimes it's a little bit soggy. So you could just keep the salad portion separate from your chicken and quinoa, and then just add it on the day, or keep it separate and then just drain some of that liquid out from the cucumber. And yeah, it's a great go-to. Okay, just adding that. I'm gonna do one more, and then I think my chicken should be done there. This is going by so fast. See, that's the beautiful part of these quick meals, but it really does, again, take thinking ahead. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna put? What does the family like? What are they gonna eat? Even with something like this, and then if you have little kids and they're, a bit fussy too, and you need to make a pot of, whole grain pasta or something like that to go with this, well, do that, but you don't eat it, right? If you're trying to watch for yourself. Okay, 2 mini cucumbers, 2 tomatoes. Looks like the chicken is done. is done. Quinoa only has 5 minutes left, and I can tell that that liquid is absorbing, so that's good. Let's go on, continue with the salad. I think I'm going to add one more cucumber to that, actually. So we talk a lot about portion control here at Move Daily because, you know, sometimes you can't control what you're served. Maybe you're not the cook in the house. Maybe someone else is the cook, and you don't always have control over what's being served to you. And maybe you're trying to watch what you're eating, but you're out at a friend's house and they're serving pasta and or pizza or whatever, right? That happens a lot of times. And so I often hear clients say, well, I couldn't control it. It's not my fault. That's what was served, so I had to eat it. Well, yes and no. Typically speaking, I think when you're at your house, you can control the portions, right? So we talk about making sure that you eat your meals from an 8-inch plate instead of from a 14-inch plate. That makes a big difference, right? If you load up a smaller plate with your food, your complex carbohydrates, your lean protein, healthy fats, salad, that sort of thing, it's going to look like you've got a lot of food. If you put that same portion amount on a big plate, you might think, oh, I'm being deprived. You know, my husband gets to have all this food. I have such a small amount. It's not fair. So that perception actually makes quite a big difference when we have a plate that looks like it's full and that we're going to enjoy it. All right, so I'm just going to chop up maybe half a red onion. I like red onion, a little bit sweeter than your white, and so nice for adding that little bit of crunch. Not great for the breath afterwards, but if everyone is eating it, then you should be good to go. Okay, so just gonna dice this up really small as well, so that no one gets a big hunk. So that's going to make me cry any second. Yeah, that's plenty of onion. Just a quarter of it really is what I used. But a little goes a long way with that. So you like it, you can add more. I'm just going to keep it to a quarter. All right, so in that goes. Holy, that is not making me cry. Yeah, there we go. All right. Whew. It's really emotional here. Okay, let's put that over there. So that's our base of our salad. Okay, chicken's good, chicken's done. I'm going to move that over there. Now we'll just begin to season up our salad here a little bit. So we're literally like 15 minutes in, 10, 15 minutes in, and we are almost done. This is such a quick dinner. Okay, so we have cucumber, you have red onion and tomato in there. I'm going to add a little feta cheese right in there. If you don't like feta, you can keep it for the end and just add it separately for whoever does like it. That's an option there. It's got my feta, olive oil, and lemon juice to flavor it. So let's just hit half a juice of half a lemon in there. Actually, I've got a good juicer. So this is a great little lemon juicer. I love it. It just gets every bit of juice out. Absolutely. Okay, so that's there. And also some salt and pepper. We'll hit that with some salt and pepper just to flavor. Again, just gonna make sure that I don't overdo it. See, look how much pepper I got because I opened the wrong end. I hate those containers. Honey, you're gonna have to get me some new ones, okay? He's reading the bakery. Okay, so lemon juice, salt and pepper to season. Let's add some oregano and some basil. I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of each. So I'm just going to eyeball it. With baking, I'm precise, but with cooking, nah. Just throwing that in the palm, just giving it a little eyeball and seeing how we do. And typically, sometimes I have fails, but I think mostly you kind of know what tastes good. And you learn over time how things taste together. Okay, so just giving that a mix around, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil on top. Probably just about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then we'll give that a mix. It smells awesome. Oh, and I need to add some parsley. Yes, I will add some fresh parsley here. You know what? You could add some avocado to this as well. I think that would be really good, and I think I might do that later because I do have one that needs to be used up. So parsley, I love the Italian parsley. What do you like better, flat leaf parsley or Italian parsley? I don't like this curly stuff. It's just so old school. Flat leaf parsley is the best, but they didn't have any at Save-On, so here I am using curly parsley, which I don't love. There's a Quinoa. Okay, so just give that a bit of a rinse, and I'm just gonna rip off a chunk, and we'll chop that up here. Okay. Okay, I still see some liquid in the quinoa. I'm gonna leave it for a few more minutes there. So yeah, flat leaf parsley, Italian parsley really does have a different flavor. So if you haven't tried it, certainly try that. So just chop this up. You know, adding fresh herbs to your cooking enhances the flavor so much. It just really brings an aliveness to it and makes it just taste different, way fresher. So I didn't have any basil or oregano, but if I had fresh basil, I certainly would have added that. So let's just put that fresh parsley right into there, but you can smell it. It smells like spring, even though our weather is not cooperating. Okay, so that's our salad. That's your base. And doesn't that look pretty? So nice. So good. Okay, so right into that, I'm gonna add my feta cheese, because that's what my family likes, but you do whatever works for you guys. All right, and I'm just gonna do this with my hands because why wouldn't I? Maybe that's what you do. Is that what you do? Probably someone's gonna comment that's not the way to do about it. It's okay. I'm okay with that. All right, so we're just crumpling that over top and just reach in, grab the rest of that there. Yeah, so easy, so good. Has anyone made any of those Buddha bowls? See, it's just kind of like that idea. You can just add your grain, add your protein. So you could do tofu, chicken, salmon, whatever you like there. The grain can be brown rice, quinoa, black bean pasta. There's lots of different options. And then add your vegetables that go with it, and then typically a sauce that goes with it as well. So this sauce, of course, is your olive oil and lemon juice. Okay, perfect. Salad is done. There. Now it is good. So setting that aside, I'm just going to finish off with, while waiting for that quinoa to cook, you can use a tzatziki, like a store-bought tzatziki. You know what? Typically the macros on there, calories, everything are pretty good. I'm going to make my own here just to show you how quick and easy it can be just to make your own tzatziki. All right, so I'm just going to take a bowl, grab a few ingredients here from the fridge. Little Greek yogurt, little sour cream, cucumber we have, lemon juice, garlic, dill, and that is all you need. Okay, super simple. So I'm just going to take some 0% fat Greek yogurt. So just grab a bit of this and into a bowl. So I'm not going to make too much because I don't want too much left over, but a little bit of Greek yogurt. I probably have half a cup there. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of some sour cream, and this is just a 1% sour cream here. Okay. So 1/4 cup of sour cream in my bowl. And now we're going to shred some cucumber. So this is how I do it. I'm sure there's lots of recipes, but I've done this one sort of for years, just kind of make it up in the spot, and I like the flavor and the taste of this one, so this is how it goes here. So just shred that up. Now again, if you don't squeeze out the water from your cucumber, it can be quite, make your tzatziki quite saucy, quite wet, and not really thick. But using Greek yogurt actually thickens it up quite nicely compared to if you use just like a plain yogurt. Greek is thicker and a little bit nicer that way. Okay, so I'm just going to take one mini cucumber. You could use just, you know, a 2-inch piece of a regular English cucumber if you wanted. And I'm just going to squeeze the water out of there over my sink here, just with my hand. Just kind of get some of that juice out. Okay, is that gross? to look at, maybe. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Okay. Yeah, see how much juice is in there? Which is just indicative of how great cucumbers are for you because they're so high water content, right? High water, high fiber, filling, add a good crunch. Okay, that's good. It's a great snack to have, good car snack, easy. That's why I love those little mini cucumbers because they're really super simple. All right, so that is in our bowl. Now, when you do add regular garlic to this, you get that, like my husband usually can taste when something has garlic in it if it's raw. Not if it's cooked so much, but if it's raw. But that really does enhance this flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add a small one, just so we're not overwhelming. And I think we're out there. Okay, grab another one. There's one right there. Okay, so just adding a small one just to give it some flavor. Ooh, gracious. All right. And I think I'll just give this a real fine chop so that no one gets a big piece in their mouth, but you could put it through a press if you wanted as well, or you could make a paste. Just add a little salt and keep running your knife over that garlic clove. But we'll just do a real fine chop here. Okay, that looks good to me. And in the bowl it goes. Okay, so we have sour cream, Greek yogurt. We're gonna put some lemon juice in. Okay, so for that amount, I'm probably only gonna do the half the juice of this lemon. I don't want it too crazy, so maybe a tablespoon of lemon juice or so. All right, we're gonna season with salt and pepper. Let's do the right way this time so we don't lose it. Maybe a quarter teaspoon of each in this amount. I'll season and taste as I go. That's typically what you do. You could actually add some red onion in here, but I think with the garlic in my family, I'm just going to keep it as is. But one last thing to finish off is going to be our dried dill. If you had fresh dill, add that. That would be so delicious in this as well. All right, that looks like tzatziki, yeah? Yeah. All right, grabbing the dill. And our quinoa is coming along. Okay, it looks like I have about a half a teaspoon of dill left, and I'm just going to add that whole bit in there. So sometimes, maybe I should have added a little bit less liquid into the quinoa. I have read sometimes that you can do a 1 cup to 1.5 cup ratio. I'm not sure what you use. Maybe comment in the comments below what is the best ratio for you to use with quinoa. Because it seems to be quite a bit of liquid. I just turned the heat up a little bit there so we can increase the time. But I'm going to go ahead and begin to plate this, and we will see how we do here. Actually, let me just taste this to make sure it's seasoned well. Perfect. Love it. Salty, fresh, lemony. That's really good. All right, so grab a bowl. All right, so for the sake of time, come on, quinoa, cook already. That's been way longer than 15 minutes, hey? All right, well, I'm gonna plate it anyway because I have to go to work. So I'm sure it's cooked, it just has a little bit of liquid in it. So we'll take our spoon, and this is how the salad goes now. All right. So in our bowl, I'm going to put a portion of quinoa. Now I'm going to show you how I would do my portion, because what I taught at my Healthy Eating Revisited event was your hand is your perfect indicator of how much food you should have, what your portions should be. So cup is carbs, so the amount of carbs, complex carbs you should have should be the size of your cup. Palm is protein, so how much protein should be the size of your palm. Fist is veg. Okay, your vegetables there, and that's going to be our salad. And thumb is fat, and we've added olive oil to that, and I'm going to add a little bit of avocado to mine later as well. Okay, so there's my quinoa amount. Cup is carbs. So it's probably not more than half a cup for mine. That's the size of my palms or my cup, so that's good for me. Into the chicken. We're gonna do, again, probably the palm of my hand is good for me, so that's my palm is chicken. And then I'm gonna top it with my awesome salad here. So I have your tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, feta cheese, parsley, lemon juice. I mean, so many great things. And then the piece de resistance is our beautiful tzatziki, and that's just gonna go right on top there. Oh my gosh, that looks really good. I'm excited to eat this. Well, I hope you guys made it as well. Or if you didn't make it right with me, then I hope that you make it for dinner this week sometime, because look at that. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look good? Okay, well, I hope you enjoy this, and make sure that if you do make this recipe, comment below and let me know what you think of it and how you enjoyed it and what your family thought too. Okay, tune in next week because we are going to do another recipe. It's going to be on Wednesday at 4:45. I'll list the ingredients below so that you can buy it during the day and you can join me for a 30-minute meal. I'm not Rachel Ray. I'm not pretending to be, so don't worry about that. But what I'm saying is healthy doesn't have to be long, expensive, and time-consuming. It can be done in 30 minutes. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. And